What's up, everybody? This is your favorite friendly American Infidel, and I am along with MPSIronMike, who is my very bestest friend. He just started out this whole YouTube channel page. He's gonna start uploading videos, so make sure to go check him out. I will leave a link to his page in the description. But one thing that Iron Mike and I are doing right now is we're doing a Gears of War campaign playthrough. Everybody knows that Gears of War 3 is coming out. So what him and I are doing, we kind of just started with the original Gears of War. We did the campaign mode, and then I think we're working on the Gears of War 2 campaign mode right now. And basically what I want to do is just kind of do a very quick-ish overview of everything Gears of War. Basically, I only have a 15-minute upload time. And obviously the Gears of War, it took us like 5 hours to play through. So what I did was I put everything in ×10 speed. And it came to about 30 minutes exactly on a dot. So I think I only took out one scene from the first Gears of War from the first part. So it's going to be 2 parts for the Gears of War 1 campaign. So the first one is basically what I'm going to do is a general overview of everything Gears of War. Now, if you don't know, Gears of War has a tremendous book and comic book series, along with just all kinds of fan fiction, fan theory, just everything. It's very cool if you're interested in the Gears of War saga, I guess, just to go online and Google some of these Gears of War forums that are out there, because there's all kinds of really cool, ideas or backstories thrown out there. And what I found was that Gears of War actually has its own Wikipedia page, of course, but they also have a Gearspedia page, which is a very in-depth breakdown of everything. So basically, all I am doing is these will be linked to the Gearspedia and the Gears of War Wikipedia. All I'm doing is I'm going to the Gearspedia page, and I'm clicking links, and I'm reading the articles to you guys. I didn't know any of this stuff, and I freaking love the Gears of War story. So all this is going to be is just me reading the Gearspedia page, which I'm sure you can go do, but that's what I'm going to do. And so the first part of the Part A of the Gears of War campaign playthrough will just be me kind of breaking down everything, all the information that, not even all of the information, probably like 1/10 of the information on the Gearspedia page. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is the actual planet that the Gears of War people are on. They are on the planet Sera. And Sera was a habitable planet with about 26-hour days. So very similar to Earth, except for the aliens and the locusts in the ground and whatever. But the terrain consists of a few very large continents, as well as several small island chains, and it possesses one singular moon. Now, the Sera had a history of conflict that took it and its inhabitants to the brink of destruction, and this shocked the people into a rejection of their own destructive ways, and it led to a golden age. Now, this golden age was, although the conflict was solved peacefully, the civil liberties and crime remained as troublesome social issues. A golden age of peace, culture, science, and the arts ensued, yet one problem still remained prominent, which was energy. Now, this is why you see all those just giant and great, the charismatic buildings. It's because this golden age allowed for all this just tremendous, breakthroughs in science and the arts, and just a great appreciation for these tremendous buildings. Now, the Sera's main problem was its dependence on fossil fuels and nuclear energy, which absolutely mirrors our own today. Basically, there just wasn't enough to meet the rising global demand, until emulsion, with its promise of near limitless energy, was thought to be the solution to mankind's increasing need for energy. Now, what we're going to do is, you're going to find is that the emulsion issues led to the Pendulum Wars. So right now I'm going to click on the Pendulum Wars link, and it gives us a breakdown of everything, including, the motion and the discovery and how it leads to the wars. Now, so here we go. The Pendulum Wars were a massive, global, 79-year-long conflict that waged between the two superpowers of Sera, being the Coalition of Ordered Governments, COG, and the Union of Independent Republics, or the UIR. Now, they waged for control of the planet's natural resource, namely emulsion. Now let's go into the emulsion link. Now, emulsion was a luminescent, highly volatile, low viscosity fluid that was originally discovered by an oil exploration drill on the planet Sera. The discovery of the substance and its use as a fuel played a key role in the Ceran and Locust history. Control of the emulsion was the main cause of the Pendulum Wars, which weakened the humanity's unity, but gave them the strength to fight the Locust Horde on Emergence Day. Now, the substance known as emulsion was considered to be more of a scientific curiosity than a practical resource after its discovery, and was essentially useless until Dr. Helen Cooper created the light mass process. Obviously, Dr. Helen Cooper is a fictional character. The process was capable of refining emulsion into an efficient energy source. Now, for a planet that was hungry for energy and facing something of an energy crisis in the long term, emulsion was the perfect solution, efficient, clean, and fairly abundant. Now, as emulsion extraction and conversion began to pick up steam, a certain few nations reaped huge rewards from its sale, while other less fortunate ones were denied the profits. Over time, the emulsion speculation on the financial markets ran rampant, and entire currencies and economics became linked to its value. Now, this eventually resulted in a large economic collapse on the planet Sera, when extremely low emulsion prices crippled the financial sector. Now, the economic crisis sparked military actions, and few countries that possessed an abundance of emulsion reserves found themselves at war with those nations who were not as fortunate. Now, this is basically the background to the conflict known as the Pendulum Wars. Emulsion was both a curse and a blessing for the humans, as emulsion began infecting locusts and turning them into an altered, much stronger creatures known as the Lambent, which we will see, of course, in Gears of War 2. Now, this started the Locust Civil War. Okay, so let's get into the Pendulum War itself. Like I said earlier, the Pendulum Wars was a massive and global 79-year-long conflict. It basically just wrecked the shit out of the surface of Sera. Tens of thousands of human lives were lost in the conflict, and the environment was significantly damaged by the devastating weapons. The war was a deadlock for the majority of the years until the COG broke the stalemate by going around the land warfare with the UIR and staging a raid in the asphalt fields. Now, basically everything I'm saying is somewhat referenced in the Gears of War campaign. So if you kind of know what I'm talking about and with the campaign stuff, you can probably pick up on some of this stuff, because I don't know shit about it, and I'm not really going to go into it because it's not all that exciting. But the important part about the raid and the asphalt fields is it gave the COG the Hammer of Dawn, because they basically just stole the shit out of it. The Hammer of Dawn was a technology during the Battle of Asphalt Fields, and it allowed the COG to gain the advantage in the war, and the Pendulum War ended very shortly for the attack of the Locust Horde on Emergency Day. So why is this important? It's because basically humans fought this almost 100-year war. They were beaten, they were destroyed, they were just torn apart, and then all of a sudden the damn Lampets, the Emergence Day comes, people jumping out of holes. They just didn't have the energy to fight. That's why even in the first few seconds of the war, you see how tired these men are. You can see it in their eyes, and it's because they just fought this huge war against each other, and now they gotta fight an unknown enemy that just literally came out of the ground, out of nowhere, and is like, holy shit. Okay, so where were we at? Pre-war, Pendulum War stuff. Yeah, it's all about the light mass process, which Dr. Helen Cooper created. But whatever. The full implementation of this process, known as the light mass process, guaranteed new energy source and led to the elimination of the need for the hydrocarbon and nuclear-based fuels. However, the extremely low price of emulsion is what just destroyed, everything. it destroyed the economics. It just, you know, basically like the housing market did for us, but we didn't start killing everybody over it. Now, the COG, which is, you know, is of course what Marcus and Dom and all those guys are a part of. The COG is named the Coalition of Ordered Governments. Now, this became a legitimate, if minor, political party during the 1709-year war. Now, this was founded long before the Pendulum Wars by the fanatical socialist Alexei Despich. I don't know how to say that name, it's whatever. But the party was based on an obscure world government philosophy based on the 8 guiding principal values. You know, order, diligence, purity, labor, honor, loyalty, faith, and humanity. Now, the COG began sending out their legions of gear soldiers, turning the Pendulum Wars from a conflict over emotion to a fight over freedoms. The coalition overthrew many nations. They overthrew many nations' governments. I lost my spot. Many nations' vassal governments and accepted volunteers to fight the independent UIR armies. Now there's many fronts. There's there's the Austria front, which was fought 30 years before the siege of the Anvil Gate. You guys just got to go to this website. It's very cool. I don't know how everybody else to say. The COG defending the emotion-rich nations. Basically, the COG wanted the emotions for the money and for the power, and then all the other people are trying to get it back. There's so many different sieges and wars and fronts. We don't have time. We don't have time to go into it, damn it. But it's really cool. I really encourage you just to go to this site and just kind of read through, click the different links. Because basically everything that is stated in it, it's all based on something from, the campaign. So that's basically what we get. We get all these wars. You get the different fronts. I kind of lost my scroll bar a little bit. Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to see where should I go next with this. So we went to the COG, the Pendulum Wars, the history of Sera. Let's break down the characters a little bit. Let's go, of course, into Dom, because, why is he in jail? Bitches. Okay, Gears of War, Gearspedia. No, kind of losing my links right now. Trust me, I'm a pro at this. Okay, Gears of War 1. Okay, so let's get into the characters just a little bit. And we will start with Damon Bird. He's that little funny guy. Corporal Damon Bird was a gear soldier who was an expert in several technical and mechanical fields. That's why he's always fixing shit. We need to go into Marcus, though. Marcus Phoenix. Let's go into his life. Okay. Now, Sergeant Michael Phoenix was a gear soldier in the Coalition of Ordered Governments Army. A legendary war hero, Marcus served with distinction in the Pendulum Wars, which earned him the Embry Star, which was basically a big deal. It's the highest COG military award for his actions during the Battle of the Asphalt Fields. He is also a convicted traitor. Like the rest of humankind, he saw everything change on Emergence Day. Marcus bravely fought the Locusts for 10 years until the Battle of Ephrai, where he abandoned his post to rescue his father, which is why he is, labeled a traitor. Now, the Professor Adam Phoenix, Marcus's father, could not reach him in time, and Marcus was tried for dereliction of duty and sentenced to 40 years in the Jacinto maximum security prison, which is where we first find him when he gets broken out by Dom. He was basically incarcerated for 4 years before being released by his longtime friend, Dominic Santiago. Now, this is exactly where we will pick up. So for the next part, what we're going to do is just go into the Gears of War 1 campaign and probably jumble along like I did in this one. But man, like I said, this has been a breakdown of history, kind of. So look, I'm American Infidel. Go to MPSIronMike page. Go to Yoush.com. Everything's going to be cool. We're going to continue this in a little bit. Alright everybody, I will see you later. Yoush!